Hi, my name is Molly M.
My name is Harley S.
My name is Beth H.
My name is Demetra B.
I've been sober since April 22nd, 2010.
November 23rd, 2007.
January 9th, 2007.
May 19th, 2009.
And I've been working for MAP since June of 2010.
March of 2012.
November of 2011.
March of 2013.
So usually when I get a new case, I get an email from admin that tells me the case and their number. I get to look them up on our system, our MAP portal.
I then go to their face page, which is a page that includes all the information about them, their birthday, their sobriety date, when they're expected to discharge. I just have an opportunity to review who they are and where they're coming from. And the next step is getting an opportunity to talk with them face-to-face over a Skype call.
We will start out with an initial Skype call before they're discharged from treatment, and I get to explain the MAP program to them and what we're going to be doing, what our relationship is going to look like.
And that way I can see them and they can see me and kind of put a face to a name. I explain to the individual the MAP program, how we work, how I'll be helping them, how I'll be working with their families.
We also tell them about how we're going to be calling their consents, about how many times we'll be calling them a week. We also tell them about the UAs that are set up, the urinalysis that they'll go and take.
In the very beginning, we ask a series of questions that allow us to get to know the person, what their interests are, what kinds of things they did in the past, the types of things that could be challenges coming up.
And they get to tell me a little bit about themselves and what got them to treatment, a little bit about what their goals are going to look like when they get out.
But I like to give the individual an opportunity to just kind of show me who they are so that I can meet them where they are, imagine being in their shoes, and going through what they're going through.
And I also tell them that sometimes people slip. Sometimes people have using events, and I still want to talk to them if that happens. I hope that doesn't ever happen. But if it does, I let them know that I'm not mad, I'm not going to judge them in any form or fashion, that I still want to talk to them. And let them know that we're here to help them.
Right when they get out of treatment, it's the scariest point in anybody's life. I know it was for me. You're leaving this secure atmosphere where you know that everything's okay, you're safe, you're able to stay sober, and as soon as you leave, you're kind of by yourself. And that's the best thing about this program, is that we get to help them make the first transitions of when they leave treatment.
Initially, when somebody gets out of treatment, everything is really big, everything is really loud, and so I get to support them through settling down into a routine in the first couple of weeks.
Sometimes they go to sober living. Sometimes they go right back to where they were living before they went to treatment. Sometimes they move back in maybe with mom or dad or a family member. You know, it varies. And the great thing about the MAP specialist is that I get to follow them no matter where they go and through multiple transitions.
My job to stay in touch with them on a bi-weekly basis, twice a week, checking in with them, seeing what changes and challenges have occurred and they see coming up.
As an addict myself, I know that when you leave treatment, it's really difficult to deal with overwhelming challenges like getting a job that might be simple to somebody else. You feel like you're emotional, that you can't do it, and what you have to realize is that you have someone on the other end of the line that you can talk to that's been where you are, and you know that they can guide you through that transition, helping you learn how to use the tools you learned in treatment.
You know you're supposed to go to meetings and you know what your discharge treatment plan was, but to have someone who has your cell phone number give you a holler and say, hey, remember what you committed to and remember where the solution is.
Typically in the recovery environment, you're encouraged to call. You pick up the phone, you call your sponsor, you reach out to somebody. What I get to do is, on a consistent basis, reach out to these people and offer support.
The good news is that we call them, so that all they have to do is answer the phone. We can get them, encourage them to call their sponsor, and also to get back engaged in the tools. And we also get to call the family and ask them about how they're doing. Are they working their own support program?
Within the first week, I've contacted mother and father or wife or whomever is the individuals in their life that they want to be in their network of support.
A lot of times, this is the first time that they've had contact with somebody with lengthy sobriety. There's typically a lot of questions that they have around the disease of addiction and what their role is.
A lot of time, the very best work that I get to do is with families. A lot of people understand that an addict alcoholic goes to treatment for 30, 60, 90 days, even 6 months. They've learned a lot about addiction, about disease, about the solution. But with families, at best, they've had maybe a week when they go to family week at the treatment center.
Families, loved ones, parents are, still learning not to be hypervigilant at that point. So there's a lot of accountability.
The process of that and the process of helping a loved one of an alcoholic and an addict in early recovery, helping them to find their path of wellness and helping them find recovery has been a wonderful way to connect.
I get to do a lot of work with families and help them start to become aware of the things they're doing, the things they're thinking and feeling.
It's nice to be able to be involved in the family's recovery. This is a family disease and it affects all of its family members.
If they have not started already, we strongly encourage them to start seeking support of their own so they can begin the journey of healing along with their loved one.
Prior to making any call, I read over the recent session notes that I've taken from previous interviews, and that will have all kinds of information in it regarding any kind of new change or challenge that has come up in their life, relationships, job stuff.
I talk to them about their spiritual practices. Are they praying? Are they meditating? Going to meetings, talking to their sponsor, being honest? All of those things that are so important and crucial in their early recovery.
If we've set goals at the prior call, we talk about that. We also do the MAP questions. The MAP questions are very helpful to help spark conversations that we normally might not have and to collect the data and to help us see how this case is doing at a high level.
We get to ask them questions like, are you meeting with a sponsor? Do you have a sponsor yet? Are you going to meetings? How's your sober house? How's the relationship with family?
The MAP portal allows me to track all that stuff, and week in and week out, helping them to set short-term goals, things that they can accomplish within a 2 or 3 day period. And then 2 or 3 days later, I'm on the phone with them again. And I can ask them how it's going. What are the hang-ups? What are the hiccups? What is preventing them from making progress in certain areas?
As our relationship progresses, we begin to talk about challenges that are being presented to them and what steps I took to overcome those same challenges in early recovery. That's the most beautiful part of what I get to do is just honestly share my experience and the challenges that they're facing right now.
Course correction is basically trying to get someone back on track in their recovery if they start going off of the line and veering towards destructive behaviors, old behaviors, things that they used to do when they're in their addiction.
So what I do when these relapse behaviors are picked up on is offer them things that would work for me, things that I would have to do or have had to do in the past to get me back in the direction of recovery.
Our number one goal is to watch out for any kind of relapse behaviors and course correct. If I see certain of those elements start to bubble to the surface, for example, they have a sponsor, now they don't have a sponsor. They were going to 5 meetings a week and now they really don't think they need meetings anymore. Those are things that we know are a recipe for disaster for someone early in recovery. So I get to gently, with compassion, call their attention to those things and gently guide them back to where the solution is. So when we say course correction, that's what we're talking about.
If in the course of a conversation or a telephone call with one of my cases, they admit to a relapse or that they're actively using at this time, I don't immediately jump on their back or get on them about it. I never shame them or guilt them or give them any kind of impression that I'm even disappointed. I'm just concerned.
What will happen is they will have some shame, some remorse, and if they're picking up the phone, then we can work with them. We continue to urge them to try to get back to doing the things that they were doing when recovery was working.
And so I help them see that they can, right now, use this phone call as an act of humility, as an act of willingness, which is already the beginning of taking real steps towards recovery if they follow through with some actions.
The family, usually after a relapse, they are really scared. They think that their child or their loved one is going to go back into full-blown addiction. The family members have someone in us to talk to so they know that we're talking to their loved one after the relapse and we can help them get back on the right track, that a relapse doesn't have to be the end-all, be-all.
Every month, the primary consent for each case is going to receive a MAP report, and that's going to consist of some generalized information about how they are doing. Attached to the MAP report is also going to be the scheduled UAs. We do random UAs as part of the MAP contract. That serves a couple of different purposes. And I think first and foremost, what that serves is going to be the case.
Usually, they want to know why they have to go take UAs, and that's because it establishes trust between them and their loved ones again, and it gives them small goals to achieve, going and showing up, being present in their lives when they leave treatment.
This is an opportunity for them to start showing up with integrity to life, to start suiting up and showing up. This also gives the family an opportunity to have evidence of their sobriety, which gives a lot of peace of mind.
This post-treatment, this aftercare is sort of a new idea in and of itself. It's only been around for a few years. So there's constantly changing ideas and everything's new. It changes as we work. We have policies and procedures that we're all part of developing and keeping up to date.
A tremendous asset for the specialist is the team that we work with. We have specialist managers who oversee all of our work. Throughout the day, I will contact any number of individuals on my team who are all doing the exact same work I'm doing with their own caseloads.
Our training here at MAP is very intensive. We're very selective about our specialists who we hire, and we're also very intensive in our training.
I think the neatest part of the training was that when I was getting interviewed, I had all of the specialist managers in there, and it was a group decision. They asked me group questions, and from the moment I started, it felt like a group atmosphere.
There are a lot of people working at MAP, and every single one of them has a single goal of supporting the case. With our policies and procedures, with our training, with the support that we get, it's invaluable. I rely on my team very, very heavily.
We share information, we talk about techniques and ways of handling different types of cases, different types of challenges that they present to us. Even within a call, I can bring my specialist manager in and he can listen in and give me advice via instant messaging on how to handle a problematic case who is in the midst of a significant challenge.
We have the technology where we can contact anyone on the team at any time. We can reach out to the specialist manager and get support if we have an instance come up with a case that we've never dealt with.
We have staffing every day where we go over our cases specifically one by one and talk about how they're doing, what they're up to, if I have any challenges or need some advice or direction.
Everybody is aware of what's going on, and everybody has the same singleness of purpose, and that is to support the case.
And of course, all the specialists and the managers are in recovery as well, so they have that experience additionally.
I think the thing that's really unique about MAP is that all of us do have at least 3 years of sobriety, and we all work our own program of recovery. So not only do we do these things ourselves, we get to tell the cases about how we do them and lead by example.
Over the course of 6 months to 8 months to a year, talking to these guys 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes a time, twice a week, you get to know them. We've shared stories about ourselves. We laugh sometimes. We talk about all kinds of challenges and changes that they're going through. Really get to be there for them for this really meaningful period of growth.
Being the consistent link in all of these changes throughout the year is a really cool part of what we do.
One of the great things about being a MAP specialist is truly that we get to work with our cases for such a long period of time. So much happens in that first year of recovery, so many changes. The ground is pretty much constantly moving. So one of the great things about being a MAP specialist is I get to be there for the whole thing.
The family members are also, it's amazing. They were controlling, constantly basing their happiness on whether their child or their loved one was doing well or not. You see them engaging in their own lives again.
Working with all of the guys I work with has been an amazing experience. Getting to see them come from at the treatment center, about to launch out on a life, and seeing them through all kinds of changes and challenges. I'm the constant. I'm there for them, and getting to learn from their experiences how to better help them and others, to spend my time and my energy being of some service, of some assistance to people in this very, very, dramatic period of their life when major changes can be made. It's been a powerful experience.
As we get more toward, months 8, 9, 10, you start to see this individual making pretty sane and sound decisions for themselves, really going forward on their path of wellness. It's a wonderful thing to watch these folks grow.
It's so rewarding and fulfilling being able to be part of the family dynamic and the case's recovery, seeing them get well. It's an awesome experience. Being able to see someone who is leaving treatment that was hopeless get a job and become a functioning member of society again, and seeing that the sky really is the limit and they can do whatever they put their mind to.
Being a part of all of these people and their recovery and the family and the journeys and the healing is what gets me the most excited. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever been a part of. I absolutely love what I do. I love what I do. I've worked in a treatment environment for several years, and this is the first time I've had the experience of being able to see what happens after and the growth from everybody, an entire family healing process. The best phone calls are the ones that are short because nothing dramatic is happening. It's the most beautiful thing. I love it.